it's been so much fun just to binge small channels of people who have kind of become friends through this whole thing. I love it. It's like the spirit of YouTube almost, you know, it's like the whole point.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It's like, I feel like my channel had to get to a certain level of visibility to even get on the radar, because there have been times where I want to collaborate with people in the past and they just like leave me on red, you know, like on Twitter or whatever. And I've reached out to people, and it seems like as my channel is nearing like the 10K sub like level, it's like a little bit easier to get in touch with, especially if I make a whole video about you. It's easier to get in touch with people.
It's a good surefire way.
No, I honestly made that video because I enjoy y'all's content a lot. I did, like I was saying before, to bring a point that I left way in the back to bring it back. No, I did enjoy. I get why people like the Box Mac now. Like,
oh, good.
The Box Mac really is kind of the background thing. And when I saw the Halloween video, I was like, you know, how the fuck is Doug Walker as big as he is, and he makes his shit. Just his
green screen,
just awful. Yeah, green screen trash or whatever y'all call it. Like
green screen nightmares.
And yet you do the Halloween video. I was like, man, this is like, the editing's like great, and like there's acting, and you know, it's like an actual thing that.
Well, thank you. We had so much fun making those, because it was, the whole thing was like, come up with a concept on October 1st and release it by Halloween time, and that, you know, like, again, we spent a lot of time making movies, and when you make a movie, you write it for a year and you shoot it for a year and you edit it for 6 months. And then if you're, you know, and then you show it 6 months later, it's like, you know, the whole thing's like 3 years. And it was so much fun to make something a bit more creative like that within a month. And then you release it that same month and get immediate gratification from people who line up to see it, you know, even if it is only 1,500 people or something. It's like 1,500 people is 1,500 people. You know,
shit. That's
little
awesome.
audience, you know?
Do you ever have this experience when you make like a film that, or a video that you put a lot of time into, where it's almost like it's almost like sex, you know, it's like you do the foreplay and then you lead up to it, and then you have the big, you know, climax when it comes out,
and then you fall asleep,
and then after it's over, there's just like this huge like gap in your soul, because it's out, you're done, and now you have nothing, you have no project that so you have to start something new, and there's this big like soul sucking experience, like, fuck, it's great that it's out, but now I've got to start all over again on something else. Like,
well, that definitely was the case with feature films, yes, because you put everything in, and then suddenly it's like graduating from school or leaving camp or something. But with YouTube, there's like always another video that's waiting for me. There's always something that's like, oh, you're supposed to do this. And so when I finally, especially the high effort stuff, when I finally kick it out the door, I'm like, good, now I can go do the other thing that's been waiting for me.
I usually have something waiting in the wings. So it's like, oh, yay, I did that thing, and I'm now editing this one.
That's been the hardest thing for me lately, is just coming up with ideas for my channel. Like that's the hard part for me, is just like generating the idea. Because like, you guys, are you still doing like all the other side things? Yeah. Okay.
Not as frequently, because this augments it, but so it kind of like gives us a little bit of a break. But you know what's funny is this, like, last week, for instance, we had Jason on, and we talked about Sega Genesis for an hour and a half, and I thought I was just going to release it as a standard video, and it became obvious that, like, oh, I should edit in some clips. You know, otherwise nobody's going to know what we're talking about. Yeah. Well, it turned out we spoke about 80 different video games on that across that hour and a half. And suddenly I'm like, yeah, you should go ahead and actually spend the week it's going to take to edit this. And it probably took 25 hours to edit that video. And so what would have been a regular podcast clip turned into a premium video that I hadn't planned. And so also this channel is now getting high effort stuff in addition to the other channels.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm making a Dreamcast video that I'm gonna probably put on the Clips channel. Yeah, it's basically our main channel now. And then I'm also like, I feel like gaming content should go on here,
right? Because that's where the gaming audience is. For us, one of the tests was when we made that channel trailer that kind of told our whole story. We uploaded it to both channels, and I mean they performed similarly. But it was clear that there was no overlap between the two channels, a negligible amount of overlap between the two channels. So there's like two totally segmented audiences. And I would say that on the podcast channel, there was more engagement on it, more interest, or it was a story they hadn't heard before. Whereas the main channel, I think the people over there had heard that story before.
Another burning question that I've had this whole time, and now that I'm actually talking to you, I can ask the question. How'd you get a British lady to say, nah, a clip from Red Cow Entertainment?
Oh, nice.
Where'd she come from?
I don't think we've ever revealed this. Yeah, so it went like this. We recorded our jammy video. We recorded our sleepover. And then it blew up, and half the comments were like, what would they know about video? This looks like shit. And I couldn't abide that because of what we had been through for the past 2 decades. And so we set up this situation you see here with the DSLR and everything and made it look nice. And then I was like, we've never even named this podcast because it was called the Red Cow Patreon podcast. It was exclusively for patrons. So since the arcades became part of our lives and we were chatting about them a lot of the time, we called it Red Cow Arcade. And then I said, we probably need like a little animation or something, a little intro, a little outro. And so I ordered the animation on Fiverr for like $10.
Damn.
And then,
good job.
Yeah, I mean, it's this Korean lady just turned it right around. And then I said, oh, while I'm here, maybe I'll get like a professional narrator. And I was just looking through narrators, and I was like, oh, like a British female might be funny.
You found Lady Decade.
Not knowing we would eventually be making fun of Lady Decade, who sounds a lot. So I don't know if anybody actually thinks that that's Lady Decade, but I think somebody out there thinks it's really late. And I don't want them to stop thinking that.
She's the one that keeps haunting your algorithms, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, or she's the one we made fun of her for the copyright thing. Like, we sided with her, but we also have no sympathy.
The problem with retro games.
Yeah, for gracious living. She just put out some video that was just outrageous. It was like a parody of herself. It was like it was called like I'm looking for a cougar man, and it for like 10 minutes. It's her sipping on wine, trying to be sensual. And then eventually reveals that she's talking about some video game. And she's like, get your mind out of the gutter.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
EJ told me not to, but I wanted to permanently add, I don't have that money to the end of the outro when we say, like, donate to our Patreon. I don't have that money.
You've added it to a few, and I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never watched that lady's content. Was she like a video game reviewer or whatever?
Yeah, it's like, she's like a weird AI. She it's Wikipedia content to the max. I mean, if you thought fucking Bimmy was bad, this is like, yeah, it definitely feels like a less advanced version of Chat GPT spit out a bunch of info about Dreamcast, and her husband's shooting it, and there's a slight element of sex appeal because
she's a woman.
Yeah, and that's about it. But her husband is this guy, Big Daddy Top Hat Gaming here. This other channel that also is
he basically shadow writes for her, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I've watched a fair amount of his videos because he talked about the TMNT arcade, and if it's about the TMNT arcade, I'll watch it.
I had this guy, I guess he's a semi-big YouTuber. His name's Papa Gut. He reviews videos that people have made, and that's kind of his thing. And like my State of Cinemassacre somehow appeared on his channel, and this girl who knows me, who follows him, was like surprised to see my video pop up on this guy's thing. And the guy's basically just like shitting on me the whole time for making fun of James and everyone.
Oh no.
This was where I really started noticing James's receding hairline. I know it's the fucking elephant in the room when you watch.
I feel like it's not that. I feel like it's not an elephant in the room. I feel like he did it on purpose as part of like the new character. His hairline's probably receding, but he probably did it just to accentuate it. So
he's on the mic, and he in a low voice, he's kind of too cool for the room.
I just commented. I was like, "Hey, glad you liked the video. Thanks for the shout out." I don't.
Yeah, you're pretty resilient. I have noticed. Like you don't let anything get you down.
No, it's like these people don't know me, and like they're like. The insults is just like, okay, yeah, gay, live in my mom's. I mean, I know none of those things are true. I mean, kind of gay, maybe, I don't know, but
kind of in my mom's basement.
Kind of in my mom's basement.
Slightly,
but I don't know.
I decorated nice, so it's fine.
I tried stand up for like a year, like a while back, and I don't know. You just like, and growing up, all my friends, we just busted each other's balls constantly, like just constantly insulting whatever your weakness was as a person.
Oh yeah,
that's what we went after, and we were all best friends. We really cared about each other a lot. But I mean, up north they say whatever their problem is with you to your face. In the south, they say it behind your back when you're not around.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that
nice
sounds
to your
right.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes. If you're disliked, you will know it.
Yeah, see, in the South, it's like you could go like
Bless your heart.
you could go 10 months going to a place, and the whole time everyone hated you, and you had no idea, and they were like just talking about you the whole time. And
I do remember a couple of years ago, a guy who's about my age is a teacher now, and he said, like, "Hey, would you mind? You know, I teach an 8th grade class, and some of them are working on videos. Would you mind coming and talking about video production for like a day?" And so I did that. And I thought like that they were all going to call me gay the whole time and bully me.
That's the experience you had growing up.
Yeah. And these 8th graders were so nice. Like, and they weren't giving each other any trouble.
Wow.
And and they were, proficient on their Chromebooks. I mean, the whole thing was very, very disconcerting.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, have fun. Hey, it was so good to have you. And let's please keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on, and I look forward to seeing this video and reading all the hateful comments about myself.
Well, I'll fight with every single one of them.
Yeah, we're very contentious in the comments.
At least I am.
I think there might have been like one.
We got to train the audience, goddammit.
Any negative comment about you guys in my video, they were also insulting me as well.
Right.
Or
So we're in this together.
Yeah, they're like, oh, good, too ignorant, nobody's making fun of a legend or something, whatever,
I like how he has an accent when you.
Yeah.
Well, look who it is. 2 paper boys making fun of my paper boy.
Oh, I'm going to get the paper when the real paper boy comes.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.